Good morning, children. In this session, I am going to teach you fluid pressure. This is actually CBSE portion. Now, this is useful for all the children from 8th to 11th. First of all, what is meant by fluid? Fluid means which flows from one place to another place. Generally, liquids and gases are combinedly called fluids. Why? Because solids do not flow from one place to another place, whereas liquids and gases flows from one place to another place. This is what fluid definition. Fluid means liquids and gases are combinedly comes under fluids. You need to understand some important definition, children. Number one, thrust. Thrust is also kind of force, but what force? Perpendicular force. This is the surface, you apply force in this direction, this is called perpendicular force, means it is making 90 degrees with the surface, contact surface, force is making 90 degrees, exactly 90 degrees if you apply the force, then it is called thrust. And thrust unit also same, force unit and thrust unit same, that is Newton, and this is MKS and CGS is dyne. One more important point, children, 1 Newton equal to 10 power 5 dyne. This is also remember 1 Newton equal to 10 power 5 dyne. Understand, children? Once again, fluid. Fluid means which flows. Generally, what flows? Liquids and gases flows from one place to another place. So, fluids are nothing but liquids and gases. Thrust. Thrust means perpendicular force acting on the perpendicular force. That means normal force acting on any body is called thrust. Thrust unit and force unit is same. It is SI unit is Newton and CGS unit is dyne. Remember, children, 1 Newton equal to 10 power 5 dyne. 1 dyne is equal to 10 power 5 comes to this side, 10 power 5 Newton. Next, pressure. Very important, children. What is pressure? Pressure is equal nothing but thrust by unit area. Thrust by unit area, also called perpendicular force by area, also called normal force by area. Normal means nothing but perpendicular only. Normal force by unit area. These are all formulas for pressure. Pressure is equal, simply you can write it as perpendicular force by area. If you want force, force is equal to pressure into area. But what force? Perpendicular force is equal to pressure into area. This is what pressure formula, this is what perpendicular force formula. From this pressure unit, what is the unit of pressure? Pressure unit force Newton by meter square. Newton by meter square is the unit of pressure. Now, this is also you can write it as Pascal. Pascal is a scientist. 1 Pascal is the SI unit, 1 Pascal equal to 1 Newton per meter square. This is what the unit of pressure. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton by meter square. Once again I am repeating, pressure. Pressure is equal to thrust by unit area. Thrust is nothing but perpendicular force by unit area. Perpendicular force also called normal force, which makes exactly 90 degrees with the surface. Normal force by area. Pressure equal to perpendicular force by area. Unit is force unit in Newton, area unit meter square. This is the SI unit. 1 Newton per meter square is equal nothing but it is derived by this is explained by Pascal. So, 1 Newton by meter square is equal to 1 Pascal. Remember, children, very important. From this, if you cross multiply, suppose they asked what is force acting on a fluid? Pressure into area. But what force here? Perpendicular force. Perpendicular force is nothing but pressure into area. Write down up to here. Suppose if they asked in dyne, this is SI. If they asked pressure unit in dyne, pressure unit in CGS system, dyne by centimeter square. This is what CGS unit of pressure. Pressure SI unit, pressure CGS unit. This is what CGS unit of pressure. This is SI unit of pressure. Whenever you are writing scientist name as a unit, you must write first letter capital. Only one letter you are writing means first letter will be capital. Please note down, children, up to here. Now see children, observe carefully. 1 kg weight is the kg weight or 1 kg found. 1 kg weight or kg found is equal to nothing. This is what weight or force in terms of gravitational force. If you want to say gravitational force, don't use Newton. In place of Newton, you use kg weight or kg force. 1 kg weight or kg force is equal to 9.8 Newton. Remember children, important. 1 kg weight or 1 kg force is equal to 9.8 Newton. 1 kg weight or 1 kg force is equal to 9.8 Newton. Please note down. Sometimes for our easy calculation, we will take it as 1 kg weight or 1 kg force is equal to 10 Newton children. You can take like this also. Now you substitute here in place of Newton. In place of Newton, you can write it as 1 kg weight by 1.8. If you want 1 Newton per 1 kg force by meter square is equal to what will happen children? 1 Newton is equal to this 9.8 comes into denominator and cross multiplication it goes to that side. 1 kg force by meter square is equal to 10 Pascal. You can write like this also, or 9.8 also you can write, or 1 kg weight is by meter square is equal to, you can also can write as 10 Pascal. You can call it as kg force or kg weight. These are all in gravitational force terms. If you want to say in gravitational terms, you can write like this: 1 kg force per meter square is equal to 10 Pascal. 1 kg weight per meter square equal to 10 Pascal. Kg force or kg weight. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton by meter square. So you also can write it like this. You also can write 10 Newton by meter square. Also you can write 10 Newton by meter square. 10 Newton by meter square. Like this also you can write children. Please note down. Now, pressure has one more important unit. Pressure also measured in bars or atmosphere. Bar or atmosphere. Bar or atmosphere. This is the another unit of pressure. Another unit of pressure is bar or atmosphere. Bar or atmosphere is the another unit of pressure. 1 bar is equal to how much sir? 1 bar is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal. 1 bar is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal. 1 Pascal also can write it as 10 power 5 Newton by meter square. This is also very important children. Another unit of pressure is bar. 1 bar equal to nothing but 10 power 5 1 lakh Pascal or 1 lakh Newton by meter square. Suppose if you want 1 millibar, milli means nothing but 1 by 1000. 1 millibar is equal to, you have to multiply with 10 power minus 3, milli means 10 power minus 3. It becomes 10 square Pascal or 10 square Newton by meter square. This is what millibar, this is what bar. Bar is the another unit of pressure. Please note down children. In each and every case, you take one snapshot so that you can write notes later. Next children, pressure is equal to, we know that perpendicular force by unit area. This is the formula for pressure. From this, you can write it as pressure is directly proportional to thrust. Perpendicular force is nothing but thrust only, and inversely proportional to area of cross section. Most important children, pressure is directly proportional to thrust and inversely proportional to area of cross section. What is meant by thrust? Suppose I kept 1 kg mass on your hand. You feel less force. Suppose 10 kg I put on your hand, then you feel more pressure. That means thrust means perpendicular force is more, automatically the pressure also increases. If you put more force, more thrust if you apply on the hand, then we feel more pressure. Pressure is directly proportional to thrust. Thrust means nothing but perpendicular force. If more force is applied, automatically more pressure we feel. Now area of contact is less, pressure is less. Inversely proportional means if area of cross section is more, then pressure will be, area of cross section means area of cross section is more, pressure will be less. What is the example for this? Let us consider sharp knife you take. We can cut vegetables easily with the help of sharp knife because sharp knife area of cross section is very less, so more pressure is applied on the vegetables, so we can cut easily. Whereas thrust is directly proportional to pressure. If more thrust you apply on your hand, automatically the pressure is more. That means pressure is directly proportional to thrust and inversely proportional to area. One more example, in desert, camel can walk very easily, whereas horse, dogs cannot. Horse, dogs, foxes cannot walk that much easily in the desert because their legs, the area of cross section of the camel is very high. If area of cross section of the foot is very high, then automatically less pressure is applied in sand, so they can easily remove their legs, so they can walk very easily. This is what best example for pressure is inversely proportional to area. One more beautiful example, children, pressure is inversely proportional to area. Suppose a heavy truck, imagine a heavy truck. Generally heavy trucks consist of more number of tires. If more number of tires are present, automatically the area of contact between tire and road will be more. If area of contact is more, less pressure is applied on the vehicle, so the vehicle do not skid that much easily. That is why heavy truck, if you see heavy truck, it consists of so many tires, 16 tires, 12 tire, 18 tire, like that. If more number of tires are present, area of contact between tire and road will be increases. Whenever area of contact increases, less pressure is applied on the vehicle, so the vehicle can move very smoothly. This is one more example for pressure is inversely proportional to area. Sir, tell me one more example for pressure is directly proportional to thrust or perpendicular force. This is also called nothing but a perpendicular force. Perpendicular means making 90 degrees with the surface. Now, anything you can imagine, suppose you kept one trunk box on your head. Let the force applied on your head is 10 kg. That pressure is very less. Suppose instead of 10 kg, if 100 kg if I put on your head, then your pressure will be more. If perpendicular force is more, automatically the pressure exerted by the object on your body will be more. That is the reason pressure is directly proportional to perpendicular force or thrust and inversely proportional to area of cross section. Understand, children? I hope you understand this concept. Pressure is directly proportional to thrust or perpendicular force and inversely proportional to area of cross section. Examples, once again I'm repeating. Camel can walk very easily in the desert, whereas horse, dogs, foxes cannot. Why? Because camel foot, area of cross section of the camel foot is very high. Whenever area of cross section is more, area of cross section is inversely proportional to pressure, less pressure is applied on the sand, so the leg do not go into the sand, so easily it can remove its leg and it can do next step forward, so that the camel can walk very easily in the sand, whereas horse feet is very horse feet is very small in nature. Area of cross section is small, so that that leg goes into the sand, so it cannot walk that much fast in the desert. That is why camel is used in deserts for safe journey. Do it, children. Next. Next, see, children, pressure in a fluid. Pressure in a fluid. Generally, once again I am repeating, gases and liquids are combinedly called fluids. What type of pressure is exerted by the fluid? See, the pressure exerted by the fluid on any of the substance is called pressure of the fluid. Generally, three types of pressure exerted by the fluid. Number one, downward pressure. Number two, upward pressure. Number three, lateral pressure. What is meant by downward pressure? What is meant by upward pressure? What is meant by lateral pressure? Let us consider this is a glass tumbler. If you take water in this this tumbler is completely filled with water. What will happen? The fluid surface, this is called free surface. Where air and water are separated, this is called free surface. This is called free surface. From this free surface, at this bottom, some force is exerted. Some force is exerted by the fluid downwards. This is called downward pressure. That means this total water is pressurizing downwards. This is called downward pressure. Downward pressure is always acts towards the bottom of the vessel because of the atmospheric pressure and because of the density of the fluid. Those things we will see later. Number 2, if you place a volleyball or football or plastic ball or rubber ball floats on the water. That means this fluid is pressurizing upwards. This is called upward pressure or upthrust. We call it as also called upthrust or upward force. Suppose if you place a plastic ball in the water, the fluid exerts upwards so that the ball floats on the water. This is because of upthrust. Ships also floats on water because of upthrust of the fluid. Understand, children? Next, lateral pressure. Suppose you take one plastic bottle, make holes at all the side equidistance, completely fill it with water and remove the cap. When you remove the cap, what will happen? Water exerts all sides with same pressure. This is called lateral pressure. Lateral pressure means pressure applied on the all sides whenever a fluid is completely filled with the water bottle. When a fluid is completely filled, it pressurizes all the directions in equal amount of, that means equal amount of fluid is displaced from all areas. This is called lateral pressure. Downward pressure means at the bottom. The pressure acts by the fluid at the bottom is called downward pressure, and the fluid is some upward force also acts on the object, that is called upthrust or upward pressure. All sides equal amount of fluid is displaced, that is called lateral pressure. Please note down, children. Next. Mathematical expression for fluid pressure. Mathematical expression for fluid pressure. What is mathematical expression? What is pressure formula? What is its mathematical expression? Listen carefully, children. Try to understand clearly, children. Take a vessel. This tumbler is completely filled with water. This tumbler is completely filled with water or a fluid. Imagine a cylindrical column of the fluid. It is not a cylinder, it is a cylindrical column of the fluid. Imagine a fluid column. At this bottom, from this height is, let us consider the height of this imaginary column is h. Height of this imaginary column is h. Try to understand, children. Very important. One cylindrical column, one tumbler you take, completely fill it with water. Imagine a cylindrical column of the water. This is also water only, but it is imaginary. Imaginary cylinder you take. Let this height of imaginary fluid column is h. Height of imaginary fluid is h. Understand, children? Height of imaginary column, this total column is h. Now, what is the weight of this fluid column, which is equal to force acting. The force acting on this fluid column is equal to its weight. Its weight is equal to nothing but fluid column. 1 second, children. See, children. Let us consider a glass tumbler. It is completely filled with water. Imagine a cylindrical column of height h, and this is what base of this column. This is the base of the column. Nothing but area. This is what area of this column. If you multiply area into height, you will get this total volume. That means the force exerted on this column is equal to nothing but its weight. Try to understand. Now I am finding the pressure acting on this column. This imaginary, how much pressure acts by this fluid on this imaginary column. See, we know that pressure is equal to what? Perpendicular force by area. Any doubt, children? No. But what is force? Force is equal to nothing but weight of the fluid displaced. F is equal to mg. But what is mass of this column? To find the mass, we have one formula. Density is equal to mass by volume. From this, mass is equal to volume into density. This volume into density I am going to substitute here. F is equal to density into volume into G. Density is nothing but density of the fluid. V is equal to nothing but volume of the imaginary cylindrical column, where G is the gravity. This is the formula to find force acting on the imaginary column. This is perpendicular force acting on the imaginary column is rho Vg. But I don't want F, I want pressure. What is this pressure? Tell me, children. Volume is nothing but pressure is equal to force by area. Rho V is nothing but area into height into G by already area is there. See, in this formula I substituted this. In place of volume, area into height. This total area into height is equal to nothing but volume. A cancel. Pressure is equal to rho Hg. This is the formula to find the pressure acting by the fluid on this imaginary column. P is equal to H rho G. H means height of the imaginary column. Rho is the density of the fluid. G is the gravity of the earth, that is 10 meter per second square. Height is height of imaginary air column. Rho is density of the fluid. P is pressure acting by this total fluid on this imaginary column. Understand, children? Please note down. Completed, children? Right. That means pressure depends on how many factors, children? Pressure is equal to rho Hg. Rho means density of the fluid. H means height of the air, height of the imaginary column, and G is the gravity. That means pressure depends on only three factors: density, height, and gravity. Now, my question is, does fluid pressure depends on size, shape, and area? Does pressure depends on size, shape, and area? Does pressure depends on size, shape, area? See, children, I have different cylinders. It is audible, it is visible only. Now see, children, this is first tumbler. What complete fluid is filled up to this line. This line is marked up to here only, all tumblers are filled. Second tumbler is like this. It is completely filled up to same height. This is the another cylinder which is completely filled with fluid. Fourth one, this is number 1, 2, 3. Now fourth one is like this, children. This is fourth one. This is what? Fifth one. Now tell me, children, what is the pressure acts on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is it same or different? Now we saw one formula, pressure equal to rho Hg. Pressure depends only on three factors. Number 1, density of the fluid. Number 2, height. Number 3, gravity. Anyway, all these fluids are same. Let us consider all are water only. all heights are same. This is called free surface. This is called free surface. Free surface. We have to measure the height from always from free surface. This is called surface area. All surface areas are same. That means all heights are same. But volumes are different. It may consist of half liter water. It may consist 1 liter. It may consist 5 liter. It may consist 10 liter. Volume may be different. But try to understand. Pressure depends only on the height of the container. If all heights are same, automatically pressure exerted by the point is same. Pressure exerted on all the particles are same. Suppose if you take particles at the same level, that means at this height you consider 3 points. If you consider all these points having same pressure at same height, if height is same, if all points are here 1, 2, 3, 10 points you consider, imaginary points you consider here, all points are having same pressure. Suppose at this level you consider 5 points, all these points having same pressure. You take 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, imaginary line, all these points are having same pressure. Why? Because all are at same height from the free surface, not from the bottom. Always you have to consider height from the free surface, children. Whenever you are substituting, this height is from the free surface, not from the bottom. Understand? That means pressure does not depend on the shape, size and area. This area is small, this area is somewhat big, this one more big, this one is very big. Even though the size is very big or small, it doesn't matter. Pressure depends only on 3 factors. Number 1, nature of the fluid, that means density of the fluid. Number 2, height of the column from the free surface. Number 3, and gravity. Only these are the 3 factors affected by the fluid, but fluid pressure does not depends on the size, shape and area of the container. Suppose you have this much big vessel, I have only small vessel, but the pressure is same at the same level. If you take 5 points at the same level, all these points are having same pressure. Why? Because pressure depends only on the height from the free surface, but does not depends on the size, shape and area. See children, from free surface, if you go deep from the free surface, pressure here will be more. At A point pressure is less, B point pressure is more. Why? Because from free surface B is at higher depth. So the depth of B is more, pressure at B is more than pressure at A. Why? Because this is more deeper from the free surface, A is less deeper from the free surface. Hence pressure at B is more than pressure at A. Any doubts, children? Please note down. One more important thing you have to remember, pressure increases if you go deep from the free surface. If you go deep from the free surface, the pressure increases. That means pressure at A is less than pressure at B is less than pressure at C. That means pressure at C is more than pressure at B than pressure at A. Why? Because from free surface height is increasing. At C point more depth, more height. So pressure on C is more than pressure on B is more than pressure on A. Completed, children? One more small topic I will include here. Please. See children, this is what one glass tumbler. Now it is completely filled with fluid. It is completely filled with fluid. Yes. It is completely filled with fluid. This is called free surface. This is called free surface. From free surface at x distance, I kept an object. You consider a point at this point. This point, let us consider this point is at x distance from the free surface. This point P is at x distance from the free surface. Now what is the total pressure acting on this particle P? That means you have to consider air pressure is also acting on the particle. Air pressure is denoted by P naught plus pressure acting by the fluid. That means both the pressures acting on the particle. So pressure acting by the atmosphere as well as pressure acting by the fluid from the free surface. Atmospheric pressure is P naught. Atmospheric pressure is denoted by P naught, whereas pressure acting by the fluid is, you know that, rho Hg. This is the formula to find the total pressure acting by the points x distance from the free surface. If you place this total container in the atmosphere or outside, what is the net force, net pressure acting on the point means the net pressure acting on this point is equal to atmospheric pressure P naught plus H rho g. This is the final formula to find the pressure acting on a particle. It is x distance from the free surface. Note down up to here. Any doubts you write in comment section. All the best. God bless you.